Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ulrike and I am a key beauty and skincare content creator and just general skincare enthusiast. Welcome to 2023. I hope you all got perfectly happily into the new year. And as I said last week, I'm going to do a part 2 of my K-beauty, pretty much only K-beauty favorites of 2022 with makeup products and the rest of the skincare that I really liked. So here we go. All right, we start off with moisturizers, another category just like the serums and toners where it was really difficult to just go with 3, especially in the latter half of the year. I tried so many fantastic thicker winter moisturizers that I kind of just didn't know which ones to pick, but I tried not to pick the ones that I'd only tried for maybe 1 or 2 months because it's weird to then call them yearly favorites, right? So I chose these 3. We're going to start off, I think, with the one that is the least surprising to anyone who has started watching my videos or follows me on Instagram. Please follow me on Instagram. I do a lot of stories. At the moment, I don't do that many feed posts, but I do always post quite regularly in stories, and I post a lot of sort of mini reviews and things like that. One moisturizer I truly just kept mentioning as one of my favorites. I just think the hype for this moisturizer is so warranted. It makes a lot of sense that it's becoming more and more popular also outside of Korea. It's already been a big success in Korea, and it is of course this one, which is the AESTURA Atobarrier 365 cream. Now, I don't even want to say that much about it anymore because I have talked about it now in, I think, 3 videos and always kind of repeat the same things about it. So I'll make sure to link somewhere here. I think they always link the videos that kind of refer to the same topics. I did a whole AESTURA video where you can get all the information about this very interesting Amore Pacific brand, derma brand. This cream is just it's so rich and so nourishing that you would think for me as someone with combo skin, it would be too much, but it never is. It just has this beautiful silkiness and a really interesting texture because it's got these little encapsulated oil dots basically that kind of melt into the texture. And it's just one of the best creams for skin barrier health. As long as you don't have super oily skin, this should work for you, even with combo skin. For winter, certainly for combo skin. If you have dry skin, very dry skin, sensitive skin, this is just wonderful. There's nothing quite like it on the market, I would say, just because it really manages to be super thick, nourishing, emollient, and yet never feel too heavy. A wonderful cream, truly. The next cream is one that I've also mentioned on this channel, I think at least once, if not twice. I think it was in one of my favorites videos too. I've talked about the brand a lot. I also mentioned one of their other products in the toner category. This is just a fantastic brand for sensitive skin and again, skin barrier issues, sensitized skin when you've just overdone it with trying too many products or trying the wrong product or any of these things. This cream really just calms your skin right down. And unlike the AESTURA cream, this one is a lot lighter. So I would say it can also work for those people with more oily skin. And it is the P-Calm Cato cream. And the Cato cream, another skin barrier cream, basically with the same emollient ingredients, also ceramides. But as I said, it is a lot lighter. It feels almost more like a lotion. It doesn't leave the same thickness or nourishing feeling. It feels more like something that has a bit of a watery feel to it. It's not a gel, but it's kind of closer to a gel than a thick cream. To me, really wonderful if you have sensitive skin that also is acne prone. A lot of skin barrier issues can come from having acne or from having skin that is constantly inflamed. And I feel this really has beautiful anti-inflammatory properties. Again, not much to say because I've already raved about it so much. Just gorgeous, less thick, less nourishing than the AESTURA cream. And so I feel really great for young skin that is skin barrier damaged. More acne-prone skin, check what your acne triggers though, because sometimes certain things break people out that don't break other people out, so check the ingredient list. It is fragrance-free, alcohol-free, just like the AESTURA cream, just a much lighter cream overall that I really enjoyed whenever I needed sort of an SOS style cream when my skin was just too red, too inflamed, too all over the place. I would always reach for this one because it's also a little bit cooling. So it's really nice if your skin is a little bit overheated. And then the third moisturizer that I really enjoyed in 2022 is another one I've mentioned here before a couple of times. And it's the Pure Lotus Youthbiotics Lotus Probiotic Concentrate Cream. Another texture miracle, if you ask me. Super smooth, almost sort of yogurt-like texture that feels so light, and yet it also doesn't feel fatty or greasy, and yet it has a richness that I, with more mature skin, really have learned to love. I think this one is just fantastic if you have mature combo skin. It contains a lot of anti-aging ingredients as well, predominantly probiotics and fermented ingredients, which can be great for skin barrier health. It also contains a lot of antioxidant ingredients, and thus it really helps to just keep your skin microbiome happy. It keeps your skin barrier happy, and it gives you a couple of preventative ingredients. And overall, it's just beautiful when the weather is a little bit warmer, but you still want something a little bit richer. And it can also, I think, work for oilier skin types in winter. It's gorgeous, works super well under makeup as well. Now, the next category is eye products. And in all truth, I kind of only have one product that I really want to give the award for my 2022 favorite, because I just used it consistently pretty much every night. And it's just fantastic. It deserves all the hype. All the hype. And it is this one. The Beauty of Joseon Revive Eye Serum Ginseng Plus Retinal. This contains retinaldehyde, which is a really great vitamin A derivative, very potent, yet also surprisingly much gentler than other forms of vitamin A. And for me, it has worked really, really well. This only contains encapsulated retinal, which isn't as strong as pure retinal. And from what I remember, I forgot to write it down, but I did say it in the original video where I talked about this. I think it was 0.005 or 0.05. A low dosage of retinal that nevertheless does have an anti-aging benefit. And it's a good starting point for people who haven't tried retinal yet. And of course, also, in eye products, the retinol always has to be a low percentage because the eyes are very sensitive towards any type of vitamin A. It also contains ginseng extract. Now, the ginseng that Beauty of Joseon uses is not quite the same as the ginseng that you might get in something high quality like Sulhuasu. So it won't have the same effect as something that costs a little bit more. This is a very affordable brand. Nevertheless, I certainly have seen improvements in my eye area ever since I started using this. And even if I hadn't, I would really enjoy this cream simply for the texture. I have really sensitive eyes and always have to be very careful what I use around the eyes. A lot of cream textures don't work for me because I get red inflamed eyes, especially overnight, because the creams kind of creep into the eyes a little bit. This one doesn't do that. The texture kind of sort of melts into the skin the moment you apply it, and it feels almost more like a gel, even though it does have a cream, sort of creamy serum texture. It's gorgeous. BOJ did so well with this. I know I talked down upon their serums, and I insist on that. I really don't think their serums are very good considering how many people hype them up. This deserves all the hype. It is beautiful, and I can just really highly recommend it for people sort of 30 plus who are starting to be more serious about anti-aging. I've heard a couple of influencers say that they got sensitivities from the Retinal. I didn't at all, not even a little bit. I use this almost every day, and I've never had problems with it peeling or being inflamed or anything. For me, it was just super wonderful. Love this. The next category is sunscreens, and it was another one where it was a little bit difficult to decide on my favorites. And here is the big surprise. I decided to not include the hyper-viral Beauty of Joseon sunscreen in my favorites for 2022. Listen, it is a great sunscreen. I actually reviewed the BOJ sunscreen, I want to say a couple of months before it went hyper-viral. I used it as one of the first influencers, I think. I would say, probably together with Bonnie Garner, because she always uses everything first. She's so on the ball when it comes to, if you don't follow her yet, you have to, because she's wonderful. She's another blogger. She's also active on Instagram. Her reviews are so great, especially sunscreen reviews. But I would say I was one of the first ones also to write a blog review about the BOJ sunscreen. I bought it with my own money the moment it came out and it was available for international shipping. I got it off Stylevana back then, and I really enjoyed it. It's a great sunscreen. I'm on my second bottle, so it's not as if I don't like it, but I just felt everyone is going to include it in their favorites, and I had a couple of favorites, and I wanted to only use 3 per category max. So I felt, you know what, I'm going to go for 3 different ones. 3 sunscreens that maybe not that many people potentially am going to rave about in their favorites videos. So here we go. Now the first sunscreen favorite is currently going viral, so many of you will probably already know it. And also I have mentioned it before in my video of my Skin 1004 favorites, because it is a Skin 1004 sunscreen. Now, all of the 3 sunscreens that I am introducing today as my favorites for 2022, they're all Kolma Korea made. Kolma Korea being that big, super successful sunscreen manufacturer from Korea that now makes pretty much all of the popular sunscreens. Because they all kind of ran screaming, desperate to Kolma Korea, because Kolma Korea sunscreens were the ones that basically passed all retesting with flying colors, and they really showed themselves to be the most reliable sunscreen manufacturer pretty much in Korea. So now almost everything is Kolma Korea made. So the base formula of most of these sunscreens is kind of the same. However, don't make the mistake of thinking that makes all the sunscreens exactly the same. They're not necessarily dupes of each other, because you can adjust the base formula to your liking as a brand. You basically tell Kolma Korea, you know what, we are a young brand that is more for young skin, so we want something very lightweight. We want almost like a serum texture. And so this sunscreen, the Skin 1004 Madagascar Centella Hyalu-Cica Water Fit Sun Cream with SPF 50+, PA quadruple plus, is probably one of the most lightweight serum-like watery sunscreens that I've tried this year. It just feels really super pleasant, almost a little bit cooling on the skin. And unlike some of the other hyped sunscreens, and I would add to that, include with that the BOJ sunscreen, it's not as shiny. It doesn't leave as much of a shiny glow, and it sinks in, I find, a little bit better, even if you have oilier skin. So for me, the best one for oily skin, and also for me, the best one, except the other one that I'm also going to talk about next, the best one for summer, for really hot weather, because you don't have that thing you have with some of the more moisturizing, hyper moisturizing sunscreens, like the Round Lab Birch Juice one, where when you sweat a lot and you tend to be oilier in summer, it creates kind of like a super intense, greasy shine that I'm certainly not a fan of with my combo skin. So I would say this one is great for oily skin, acne-prone skin. I would also say this could work. Again, check for personal triggers, because you can never be sure if something works for your acne. And I think it could also be great for men, because men are always a little bit fussy when something is a little bit too shiny or moisturizing or over the top. This is also fragrance-free, alcohol-free, so it's great for sensitive skin. For dry skin, it will probably not be enough. For me, this is a wonderful sunscreen discovery. I think it's a little bit better than the BOJ one. Now, this next sunscreen I actually have not talked about much. And the reason for that is that I only had a little sample of it, like a 10 to 15 milliliter sample that I got from Olive Young when I did the collaboration with them. They very kindly sent me a couple of samples together with the products that I was meant to write about. They were so nice. Can I just say that yet again? Just given that they are a multi-billion-dollar company, these people have been the best and nicest people I've ever worked with. Just, I'm still so enamored by them. They were so kind. Anyway, this is why I'm an Olive Young fangirl, because they're really nice people. And they're still a super successful company. Anyway, so I only had a little sample and I didn't have the full-size product for a really long time, because when I fell in love with the sunscreen, I wanted to order it, but it was sold out for a really long time because it is super, super popular in Korea. And I think outside of Korea, so far not that many people have discovered, quote unquote, discovered this yet, because the BOJ sunscreen kind of just overshadows everything on TikTok. Everyone is crazy about the BOJ sunscreen, when I think that this one could actually be even more successful, because just like the Skin 1004 sunscreen, it is particularly good for young skin and for oily skin. And it is the Dr. G Red Blemish Soothing Up Sun Cream with SPF 50+, PA quadruple plus. Again, that same Kolmar Korea base formula, but this one specifically focused on anti-inflammation, soothing, cooling, and calming down of redness. And this I can really confirm, because I have been using this in sort of late summer, where my skin, again, hay fever season was insane last year, so my skin was just constantly red, basically. This really helped to calm down my skin. The whole Red Blemish, Dr. G Red Blemish line is so good. I just raved about the toner for dry skin from that line. And the sunscreen also just made me fall madly in love. This has a very slight green tint, a little bit of a green tint. I'm not sure if that really helps that much with the redness, as much as the fact that it contains Centella asiatica, it contains Madagascar, Madagascar acid, asiatic acid, all of the Centella compounds to just calm down and soothe skin. This certainly is the most soothing sunscreen I would say that I've tried. If you suffer from redness, highly recommend it. And the texture is just so lovely. It is a little tiny bit richer than the Skin 1004 one, but feels cooling to me and feels almost more gel-like. I know that Bonnie Garner said to me that she also has combo skin like me. She said for her it was a little bit too greasy. I was surprised by that, because for me it didn't feel greasy at all. But then she lives in the United Arab Emirates, so maybe because of the super highly intense climate, like the high temperatures, maybe it feels greasier there. I found this to be a very wonderfully soothing and just super light sunscreen that really didn't leave a white cast on me either, and it's just fantastic in my opinion if you have oily to combo skin. I feel this might become the next hype. I might be wrong, but I think this might become the next hyped sunscreen. So get yours now. when it's available again, because I think it's sold out again at Olive Young. A little bit pricier than the BOJ one, though. I have to warn you about that. But I think it's worth it, especially if you suffer from redness. I love this. I could talk about this all day. And then the last sunscreen is actually pretty much empty. And this is my second tube, so I really, really enjoyed this one, obviously. It's a little bit pricier, which is, I think, why it still hasn't gone viral yet, because, again, BOJ is the most affordable one, followed by Skin 1004. This one is like $30, I think, a little bit more. But sometimes you get them on sale. It is a sunscreen that I actually dedicated a whole video dedicated to, because it really deserves it. It is a little bit, the formula is a little bit different compared to the other Koma Korea ones, because it is a fully chemical sunscreen. The other ones always have this hybrid filter in them that makes them have a tiny bit of a white cast. This one, pretty much, I mean, I can never guarantee it because I don't have dark skin, but I would say pretty much white cast free. That's why it's special. It is also special because it is the best one for reapplication, especially when you're wearing makeup. And it is, of course, the Talba Waterful Plus UV Essence Sun Cream with, again, SPF 50+, PA quadruple plus. Now, Talba, very popular brand, indie brand in Korea. All of their products at the moment are kind of going viral and have been for a long while. Their spray mist, which is excellent, has been the most popular spray mist in Korea for years and years now. The sunscreen, for me, texture-wise, probably the most elegant one. It has a sort of, I don't even know how to describe that, sort of a fluid-like texture. It just melds into my skin and it feels really lush and luxurious. And because it doesn't have any type of physical filters, it really doesn't leave any sort of residue. It is quite moisturizing, so it does leave a bit of shininess on the skin, which is why I would recommend this predominantly to people with drier skin. I know I said in my original video it's good for oily skin. I would actually kind of correct that because I think they changed the formula. With my second bottle, I feel that it actually is a little bit greasier or more moisturizing than it used to be. So now I would say that it is best for people with more mature skin, I would say, than maybe oily skin. Combo skin can still do well with this. It is I feel it's kind of flattering because it has a bit of a plumping effect. And as I said, it's perfect for reapplication. Even on makeup, I never feel that it destroys my makeup because it has this sort of meltiness to it. It just really works very well. Reapplying this either on makeup or on just bare skin without starting to look too greasy, too tacky, and especially without kind of having this problem of kind of disturbing the makeup and adding some cakiness to it. Wonderful sunscreen. If only it was a little bit more affordable, I think more people would talk about it. I think it's worth the money. I love this. As you can tell, this is my second and it's almost done, and I would absolutely repurchase this, no doubt about it. And we have arrived at the makeup category, and this was difficult for me and almost needs its own video, I guess, because there were so many fantastic Korean makeup products I've tried, especially recently, where I've started to kind of order more makeup versus being very skincare focused. But ever since I started this channel, I've noticed that in all truth, I didn't have great products to make myself look good. You will see that in all the videos. My lighting was also a mess and I didn't have a good camera. Anyway, you know, you have to start somewhere. I'm always kind of tempted to just delete all my old videos, but I guess it's always nice to see the progression, but it's also kind of awful. It's difficult to see yourself on camera anyway, but those earlier videos I always go, God. Anyway, so I started kind of buying more makeup, especially having more of a variety, because I didn't have a lot of stuff, to be honest. I kind of got rid of a lot of stuff during the pandemic. So now I have many, many wonderful, fantastic products that I love. And so I'm introducing more than 3, but I still kind of try to keep it at a number where I won't have a 5-hour-long video. So the first product I want to talk about is a primer, and it is, in my eyes, one of the best primers, especially for mature skin. Something that people don't talk about when it comes to anti-aging or mature skin, I feel a lot of people kind of just focus on the wrinkles. For me, at almost 44, it's my birthday this month, January 24th, in case you want to know, Aquarius. The main thing actually that I find the hardest about aging is that your skin kind of starts to look a little bit lackluster, a little bit sad, a little bit sort of sallow. And especially for makeup, it's really important that you get a little bit of a glow, a little bit of a healthy glow. But at the same time, if you use glittery stuff, especially those glittery primers, sometimes it just feels a little bit silly. A 44-year-old woman with a glitter face, except maybe on her eyes, because I love my glitter on my eyes. But overall, if you're just too glittery and too shiny, it looks kind of silly. So what I'm always looking for is a base product that enhances a natural type of glow. And this really does that. And it's the first primer I feel that actually really works perfectly as a glowy base without making my skin look either greasy or sort of just too shimmery. And it is the JUNGSAEMMOOL Skin Setting Glowing Base. Guys, if you want to invest in a good product, forget the Charlotte Tilbury one. What is it called? The Hollywood whatever. It didn't work for my skin. You know why it didn't work? I think because the Charlotte Tilbury one is too shimmery. This is more shiny and it is more pearlescent, I would say. It has a luminosity to it without being glittery at all. And the other reason why this works for me is because it is more pink based. So if you, like me, have more of a pink or cool toned look, I think I'm more neutral than cool toned. But especially on camera, I tend to come out kind of very pale and cool toned in certain lights. This works so much better than any of the yellow golden based glowing primers that a lot of Western brands bring out. It just really gives such a beautiful candlelit, pearlescent glow to the skin. I've been using it in every single one of my videos since I bought it in, I think I bought it in autumn or late summer, and it's just gorgeous. Highly recommend it if you want glow without too much shimmer or glitter. And talking about the struggle of being mature skin and trying to find good base products, how difficult is it to find a good foundation in your 40s? Even in my 30s, I was already struggling because as soon as I stopped being super oily, as soon as my skin started to show more texture, show more sagginess, especially around my eyes, it really kind of just all went down quite drastically, which is a strange sensation, I find. And also here, I have a lot of sagging. As soon as the first fine lines started forming, all of the foundations that I used to love, which were more sort of mattifying and high coverage, that doesn't work anymore. You want something that really lets your skin shine through a little bit, and you need very elegant textures that don't cake up your skin. I've tried so many things these past months, and especially to find something that works well with in front of the camera without just overemphasizing every single pore and texture issue that I have, and I have many. Just none of it really hit the mark. And then I actually asked the queen herself, Odile Monod, who really does, she's the best address if you want to know more about high-end products and also products that are more for women that are a little bit older, not the 20-something sort of. They can almost use anything and look fantastic, you know? We need a little bit more and a little bit more special stuff. And she said, when I asked her, can you please tell me, I need a glowing foundation, preferably a cushion that doesn't cake up my skin. And she said, age 20s. Age 20s, that's the brand. And it's this one. This is the cushion foundation that I have fallen in love with. And that has really just been the best. So age 20s is a makeup brand that actually specializes in makeup products for mature skin. The idea is that you kind of use these products and then you look like you're back in your 20s. I'm not sure about that. That's maybe an over promise, I would say. However, the thing about these cushions is why they are so fantastic. They have been designed specifically to not cake up your face when you have all of these fine lines, and to work on mature skin and really cater to the problems that mature skin has when it comes to makeup, which is again the fact that it kind of overemphasizes very quickly all of our flaws versus sort of giving it that flawlessness and that smoothness in particular that we want. So this, the age 20s Perfect Glass Essence Cover Pact, really works and it really lives up to its promise. It gives super lovely glow, looks very natural, and it doesn't sit uncomfortably in your little lines and in your pores. It is so smooth and just makes you look so flawless. Of course, after a while, if you wear it the entire day, it will start caking up a little bit. I think no foundation is free from that, unless it's, I don't know, super water and sweat proof. But compared to other foundations and cushions that I've used, this does not emphasize flaws, sort of the aging problems that I have with my skin as much. And it looks fantastic on camera. I have used this in my, I would say in my last at least 5 or so videos. So you can go back and have a look at what my skin looks like with a foundation. I find that it looks a lot better than with any of the other foundations. Now, funnily enough, today I'm wearing a different cushion. So I'm not sure yet what it will look like. You only see it once you're editing, but I'm actually wearing the Peri Pera, the new Peri Pera Glow Cushion, which I think might also be a candidate for mature skin, potentially. So far, I'm quite happy. But again, I can't really see myself until I'm editing. That's when all the flaws come out. But otherwise, if you are sort of 30 to 35 plus, down to 50s, 60s, this one, guys, the age 20s Perfect Glass Essence Cover Pact, this is the one you want. I've never had a better foundation in my life. I love it so much. I have the number 21. I feel it runs a little bit light. I think next time I would actually get for 23 potentially. And of course, as with all Korean foundations, unfortunately, the shade range is limited. So it will only work for pale people. I'm sorry, but otherwise, amazing. I also wanted to include an eyeshadow palette, or 2 eyeshadow palettes that I've also just loved so much throughout the year. To me, the best eyeshadow palettes that I've tried, certainly from Korean brands, and they deserve all of the hype that they have been getting, at least in Korea. I don't know, outside of Korea, again, I think not that many people are aware of them potentially. But anyway, be that as it may, to me, truly they do live up to their promise of being just very high quality makeup. And it's the DASIQUE eyeshadow palette. I don't know if it has a special name or anything. I don't think so. They just have a lot of slogans on here. But I think they're just called eyeshadow palettes, I think. So DASIQUE, very trending makeup brand in Korea, and especially the eye products. Also their cheek. Their blush products are really, really good. Their blush palette, fantastic. I started out with this one, which is the Chocolate Fudge palette. And I really just have been using this so much, especially in autumn and now in winter, because it's got that sort of chocolatey color story. This is a mix of shimmer shades, matte shades, and then some glitters. Especially the matte shades I find from these palettes are really, really great. Now there is a lot of fallout, so they do have quite a bit of a dusty kickback. Most Korean makeup kind of has that, to be honest, all of the eye products. But unlike so many other matte shades, matte eyeshadows from Korea, these ones really actually are very pigmented. Even the lighter shades, which can often kind of look like they are non-existent, these ones still show quite a bit of pigment. And they're so silky. They blend out beautifully. And then the shimmer shades are just so lovely, really, really pretty, gorgeous. And the glitters alone are worth buying those palettes. Really high quality, very pigmented, and they adhere to the lid really well compared to some other glitters that I've tried lately. I also have this one is quite new. I bought another one. This one is the number 9 Sweet Cereal, and oh my god, have I fallen in love with this. I see if I can do a close-up or something so that you can see the colors, because these ones just have the most beautiful, almost holographic shimmer to them. It's kind of a pinkish beige sort of color scheme that I think will be so pretty once spring hits. And yeah, the quality has just really amazed me. They certainly deserve the hype. And then lastly, we're almost done, are some lip products that I also wanted to include in my favorites. Now, unfortunately, my camera isn't great at catching the correct colors, and I'm not a good enough editor to color correct. I'm so sorry. I'm a complete amateur with all of these things. So I'm always hesitant to talk about makeup, especially lip products, because my camera just isn't that great at showing them true to color, so it's hard to show you the colors, you know. But I certainly wanted to include these 2 lip tint brands because they just have really, really impressed me. And the first one is from Espoir, and it is the Espoir Couture Lip Tint Pure Velvet. The color that I have is the number 5 Hazel. This color really surprised me because it turned out quite a bit different from what the shade description and swatches seem to imply. I thought it would be almost like a hazel, sort of a mauvey, dark hazel color, and it can be if you apply a lot of layers of this. But if you kind of smudge it out a little bit, it just is this beautiful, my lips but better, almost sort of rosy shade that is so flattering and pretty. I think this will work for a variety of different skin types and skin shades, because it really is that MLBB looks good on many different people type of color. The finish of these is matte, and they last really well. But what I especially like about them is that they just apply so pleasantly. The doe foot applicator is really well made, I find, and it's really easy to smudge them out. Some of those newer lip tints that go on shiny, and then you kind of have to blend them out to get them blurry and matte. I sometimes find them a little bit difficult to work with because you kind of have to apply a tiny, teeny bit and then you kind of have to smudge them around. I don't know. I'm not always pleased with that, to be honest, because I'm impatient. These ones I find smudge out much nicer, and they just, the color is beautiful. The finish is nice. They feel very nourishing on the lips. I need more colors from this one. They're already on my wish list for my next Olive Young order because it's gorgeous. Lastly, another lip product that just really super impressed me, super impressed me, to the point where I have 2 now. Because I had to purchase another one and I kind of want more. I want the whole range, to be honest, because they're just fantastic. This is the Hince Mood Enhancer Liquid Matte. Now, Hince is a very successful, very popular indie makeup brand in Korea at the moment. They are kind of famous for having created very special, first of all, textures, especially for their lip products, because they really have that semi-madness, that sort of soft washed madness that everyone's kind of crazy about at the moment in Korea. And they just have very pleasant textures. They also are very well known for having eyeshadow palettes that have a bit of a more unusual color scheme for Korean makeup, because Korean makeup is always very muted, very neutral. And Hince sometimes has, you know, a green in there, or a more orange that is a little bit more funky, you know. They are a little bit younger, a little bit funkier, but still very sophisticated. So it's not kind of like cheapish, funky neon sort of stuff. It still feels grown up and it still feels sophisticated. These lip tints, they just have the most amazing staying power I have ever seen from a lip tint. They just really last very well, while at the same time not being drying. As much as I love my Peri Pera velvet lip tints, I do feel they tend to be a tiny bit drying. These ones aren't drying. They feel super creamy on the lips, and they just have a really strong pigmentation. So they just create a very smooth canvas, and they don't overemphasize, I feel, those little lip lines that you get, as long as your lips aren't, you know, filled with, as long as your lips are still natural, I guess. So, apart from just being super pleasant, they last long, and they have a very interesting color range that especially has a lot of muted sort of brick tones. Both of the colors that I have, I've got Hatch Out and Own Skin. They both have this sort of brick, slightly corally orange look that I really like, especially for autumn and winter. And yeah, just try these. More people need to know about them. They're gorgeous. If you like matte lips, but always feel that they tend to dry out your lips, try these. I just am very obsessed with Hince at the moment. And that was it. My favorites, skincare and makeup, mostly from Korea, of 2022. And with that, we're done with 2022 and can look into the future of 2023. I'm thinking I'm going to do one on K-beauty and skincare trends, potentially next week or in the next weeks at least. And also wanted to show you some new makeup and skincare that I've been trying lately and haven't talked about much yet. I have plans for the new year. Let me just leave it at that. I hope you found this video interesting, helpful, maybe discovered a couple of new products and brands that you didn't know about before. I'm always happy when you share in the comments if you've tried any of the products, or if you have any topic requests, I guess. I'm also always happy about that, to give me some ideas what to talk about next. And if you haven't subscribed yet, it would be fantastic if you could subscribe, because growing a new channel, a small channel, is always a bit of a Herculean task. So I really appreciate the people that take the time and patience out of their day to subscribe, to leave comments, to like the video. All support is so highly appreciated, and I really can't wait to get into this new year with lots of new skincare and new K-beauty to discover. And until then, please take care, and I see you in the new week. Bye!